Hey, overcomers. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Yvonne Bentley. I'm a faith coach helping others to change their minds so that they can begin to see their world change around them. So it's kind of weird to me this morning. I am on my iPad, but, I just want to encourage you. And I don't know. Father has just been, just downloading these words of encouragement this morning, just as I'm having just my time as far as like writing my gratitude journal and just reflecting on life. And this morning, you know, when in 2013, when I took the step of faith to lose the life that I knew, to walk into the life that I did not know, for the one that awaited for me, that the Father had for me, it was such a sacrifice. But you have to understand, you have to continue to be obedient. There were so many times that I wanted to quit, y'all. There were so many times that looked like I should have quit. There were so many times that looked like prophecies was not going to come to pass and everything was up against me, that the life that the Father continued to speak and promise was not going to come to pass. And so this morning, I just pretty much come on here to encourage you, to tell you that quitting is not an option. I'm sitting here this morning and writing in my journal, I'm like, I'm grateful I didn't quit. I'm grateful I didn't quit, because if I would have quit, then I wouldn't have been able to arrive where I am today. And there's more on this journey, but 7 years may seem like a long time, but this is what we have to understand. And I think about the children of Israel, and I think about those years that I was in the wilderness to go from this life that I knew to this life that was unknown. You see, the wilderness is necessary. It's necessary because in the wilderness, you have to lose ideas, ideologies, mindsets, beliefs, and things that cannot go to the new with you, okay? So the wilderness is a whole shaping of getting your mindset ready for the new, because the old mindset can't go to where God is taking you. I'm going to say that again. The wilderness is necessary because the old mindset cannot go where God is taking you. The children of Israel, they murmured, they cried, they complained about the journey because of the fact that they wanted to hold on to the old and take it to the new. You can't. You have to allow the new thing to spring forward. Don't get lost in the journey. Thank you, Father. I just hear, don't get lost in the journey of the wilderness. Do not get lost in the journey of the wilderness, for it is only a part of the journey. You won't always be in the wilderness forever. And I don't know who this message is for this morning, but you have to know that you won't always be in the wilderness forever, but it's necessary. It's necessary because if you don't lose what you need to in the wilderness to where God is taking you to that's new, you're going to forfeit the promise. We always talk about the promise, and not understanding that we have a key part in the promise, because in the promise the promise means you have to be obedient. That's the part that you play. You have to have faith, you have to trust, and you have to be obedient. Even when it looks like you want to quit and you want to stop, you have to be obedient and keep moving forward. Yeah, it may seem hard, it may seem trying in the wilderness, but you have to allow the old to shed in the wilderness. Whatever needs to be shedded away, whatever is detrimental, so that it doesn't cause you to forfeit the promise. And I know that's not an easy message for too many people, especially the people who are so brainwashed by the fake grace message. But the truth is, just like the Most High had certain laws and commandments for the children of Israel to obey, or either there will be blessings or they will be curses. That is the same for the promise. Don't let this fake grace message make you think, oh, it's just going to happen and you can be about the world's business, but not about your father's business. Because see, the promise, the contingency to the promise means you're being about your father's business. It means you're lining up to Matthew 6:33, that seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and all of his righteousness, and everything will be added unto you. And you know, this morning, the Father used to always take me to the Ruth of Boaz. To the book of Ruth, and it talked about Ruth and Boaz. And I know for a lot of us women, we love that story because we think about the husband, right? We think about getting a husband. This is the revelation that Abba gave me this morning. Listen and listen clearly. I did not know that this message was just going to be a prophetic word of encouragement, but it is just coming out of my belly as I just decided to be obedient and come on here. When you think about the story of Ruth, her husband died. It looked like she lost everything. But she clung on to Naomi, and Naomi gave her directions that even positioned her for her to line up with Boaz. Hear this clearly. You got to think more of Boaz as far as being married. You have to think about the promise of who the Most High created you to be. You have to think of whatever he's promised you, what you're going to break free from, what you're going to be delivered from. Hear me clearly. Naomi was like the holy ruach that led and guided her and gave her instructions. Remember when she told her to go to the threshing floor and for her to get there a certain time and how to position herself for Boaz? Yes, you have to understand this is what it's like with the promise. And even though in the wilderness that you're losing all these old things and the things that may look like it was over, like it looked for Ruth, Boaz represented redemption and restoration. So you can't quit in the journey of the wilderness because it can't go with you where God is taking you to. I really hope that this encourages whoever this word was for. You all be blessed. Have an amazing day on purpose.